AquaPots Lite's a convenient solution for plant lovers. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today we are going to take a look at these AquaPots Lite planters. We absolutely have been in love with the original AquaPots and have recently given these AquaPots Lite planters a try, and they are fantastic. They're lightweight, they're portable, and we can use them for year-round interest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the AquaPots Lites and take a look at some of the different ways that you can design them for 3 seasons of interest. From spring to summer, to fall to winter, a great solution for year-round color for your front porch, your patios, or little spaces in your garden. So the AquaPots Lite is made of hybrid composite material, very lightweight, which is great, especially if you like to move your planters and containers around your patio or your landscape. Inside of this AquaPots Lite, there is the AquaPots Lite insert. The AquaPots Lite insert has 2 pieces to it. The bottom piece, this is your water reservoir. This is the fill tube. And down in that cone, you put your soil down in there, and that's what wicks up the water for consistent watering and feeding to your plants all season long. One thing I want to point out is if you have a planter, be it the AquaPots Lite planter or a planter of your own, there's one very important thing you need to do before you get started. And that is, if your planter has a plug in the bottom, you want to make sure to remove that plug. So we're going to go ahead and do that in a minute. Now that the plug is removed, this will allow for any excess water that spills out of your AquaPots Lite insert to escape from the planter. Now we're going to take a look at how this water reservoir works when it is filled to capacity. So you'll have to imagine this going on inside your planter. Imagine your AquaPots Lite insert is now inside of your container. You're going to go ahead and take your water and fill it through this fill tube. As we're filling it up, we'll take a look here in the center of the pot. You'll notice the water is rising up through this cone. As the water continues to rise, your soil will be absorbing the water. You can see the water is almost to the top of the cone. Once the AquaPots insert water reservoir is full, it will seep out of one of 8 slots on the side of the insert. This water will drain to the bottom of your planter. And that is why it is important to make sure that that hole at the bottom has been unplugged. Any excess water will drain out of your planter, and that will tell you that your AquaPots insert is full. Let's go ahead and put it together. First, we're going to put the water reservoir, the insert, down into the bottom of our pot. Next, we're going to take 2 ounces of the Proven Winners continuous release fertilizer and place it down in a reservoir. Once our fertilizer is in, we will take the insert top and fill the reservoir. Extending the telescope fill tube to the level of the pot. We will now fill the insert with water. Proven Winners all-purpose potting soil with the continuous release fertilizer built into the soil. As we put the soil into the container, it's important that you push the soil down into that cone, into the AquaPots insert. 2 bags would be needed for the container size that we're using today. For demonstration purposes, we're going to show you how to saturate the soil from the top down. This step would be done after you have all of your plants planted. It's important to saturate the soil. That way it creates the perfect wicking that is needed for your plants to absorb the water and fertilizer from the bottom up. Our soil is looking pretty saturated. Now we will watch for any excess water to drain from the bottom of our AquaPots Lite container. I'm seeing drainage from the bottom of the container, which tells me that my water reservoir is full and is now overflowing. Watering can now be discontinued. For our summer planters, we recommend starting off by putting the slow release fertilizer in when you initially plant up your planter. And then every 2 weeks, we like to put in 3 tablespoons of the water-soluble fertilizer down the fill tube. Once we put this fertilizer in, we make sure to fill the planter up until it leaks out the bottom. That tells us that our water reservoir is full. When your summer flowers have faded, that doesn't mean it's time to put your AquaPot Lite away. Repurpose it and reuse it for fall. Here we have it planted up with some beautiful pennisetum grass, perennials. We have some peppers and some garden mums in here. Because, you know, if you've got the investment of these beautiful planters, why not continue to use them as the season goes along? Now that we're in fall though, we don't need to fertilize our plants near as often as what we did in the summer. So to be honest, depending on where you live, you may need to fertilize them every 2 to 3 weeks. For us here in Michigan, we probably are just going to plant them, fertilize them once with that continuous release fertilizer, and that will be enough to keep our planters looking good until winter. And then thinking ahead to winter, obviously it's not winter, but I wanted to show you this beautiful planter made up with a winter look, because me personally, I love to make winter porch pots. Things I use are evergreens. We've got this beautiful North Pole arborvitae. We have the Celtic Pride up front. And then I went out in my garden and I trimmed a few of my favorite hardy hydrangea blooms and tucked them in this planter as well, just to give that winter season interest. The nice thing is, in the winter, these plants need very little water. For us here in Michigan, the rain we get and the snow we get will be plenty of water for these plants. For those of you who maybe are in a little bit warmer climate, fill your reservoir as it empties. Maybe that's every 2 to 3 weeks. But repurposing and reusing is definitely the key to these lightweight, convenient AquaPot Lites, because when you have the investment of a beautiful planter, why not use it year-round? Spring or summer, fall or winter, there's the perfect season for using your AquaPot Lites. If you have a question or comment, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.